Facing hardships in today's world always makes us want to escape into some other world where anything and everything goes into our wishes. Such is the world of Delulu, and we are here to discuss on it today.
Hello everyone, welcome to the podcast conducted by the.engzine. And I'm Joel.
And this is Francis.
We're going to discuss on the topic Delulu is Solulu. And Delulu is something that Gen Z term for the delusion, right?
Yes, Joel. And to be put in easier words, our Gen Z, that is 1995 to 2005 born kids, we always have this tendency to shorten the terms. Actually, this Delulu is the term which comes from the original English word delusion, which we all used in our school days. But once we have come into college and the over usage of Instagram makes us to get to know these terms like Delulu.
Yes, but there is also a negative factor for the Delulu, in Delulu, we always live in the imaginary world. We miss the real because we have to face some desires for the because we have desires for the unrealistic things and fantasies which we did not get in real life. So we go for a imaginative world which is known as Delulu or delusion.
Yeah, I agree with you, Joel, because when I was starting my first year in college, I always had this habit of like I will get more friends and everyone will be my close friends, and most importantly I will get a girl here. And each of these three things was my Delulu. According to me then, it was such normal expectations. But once I come across to the third year, I completely realized that all these are Delulus. And that's when I came across this term. Delulu actually stands for thinking of things which are not practical and it won't happen. And and these didn't happen.
Yes, that every boy would have felt in their college or school life. Everyone think about getting a great girl by marrying them in our imaginations. We get great children and we live with them totally. We have to end their life with them in our imaginations, becoming grandfathers, etc. But in real life, we wouldn't have guts to speak with her. That would be difficult for everyone in a Gen Z terms.
Speaking of which, not only this is Delulu, and when I started my bank account, I always thought, actually I didn't get my zero balance account. So I was like 500 is minimum balance, so I will make it 500. So 500 plus 500 plus 1000. Okay, I can save around 1000 rupees per month and 1000, 2000, and I will get my own bike before the end of my college year. And that is a great Delulu, because maintaining that 501 rupees is itself a greater task which I didn't imagine. Becoming older and older, money being in our hand is itself a great Delulu.
Yes, Francis, I totally agree with you. Actually, I too have a Delulu for 3 days before. I'm seeing Lucky Bhaskar movie. You know that we saw a movie, we imaginate ourselves as a hero of the movie. And while I speak about the financial crisis of our life, every middle class boys have this type of Delulu in their life, at least for the ones, and I too felt like some in dreams like crorepati or like lakpati, etc. But in a real life, we have faced many hardships. We have a financial crisis, we have economical problems, etc., etc., etc. But the only way to relax ourselves or relax our mind is imagination. Imagination does not have any boundaries. So I think delusion is also act as a form of relaxation, a solution for some problems.
Yeah, it is for the greater good, they say, because when we imagine, we have this tendency to like, yeah, I'm this guy and I'm having a wonderful life. Even though it has its own flaws, this won't happen in the future, and we have our own flaws. But still, being that in that 10 minutes of delusion takes out all this build-up stress. One day when I was in my home, I was stressing about what to do in my PG and what can I do in my future. That time I was like, okay, I saw this Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul match, like, yeah, I can be a boxer. Then I joined a boxing club. Then on the first day itself, I really thought like, yeah, I'm going
Mike Tyson.
I'm going to beat Jake Paul for revenge for Mike Tyson. And only after 1 week I saw like, no, it is not for me. No, they make me run for around 5 kilometers every day. How can I do that? So instead of doing that in around, no, I'm not talking that is bad. Working out is not bad. It is great actually. But instead of trying to work out, we always have this tendency to think, this is what procrastination, I think,
Yes.
it is somewhat related to procrastination.
Yeah.
We just procrastinate ourselves and like, yeah, I want Jake and Jake Paul. His name?
Yeah.
Jake Paul, Dana.
Yeah,
His
Jake
name,
Paul.
sorry. Joel, I even started to think about stock market after I watched the movie. That's when I realized that one thing, like, movies are a form of Delulu.
Yes.
When we watch a movie, we want to become like the actor, like you said. That time when we are going into that is what the directors are selling us.
Yes. Yes.
Joel, after I watched that movie, I also got into stock market. I didn't invest, but
Yes.
I started watching YouTube videos, and that's when I realized that these movies, showing the protagonist as a great guy who earns more money, they itself are a form of Delulu. Haven't you realized
Yes,
that?
I too have felt that movie influence in my delusion.
Yeah. It is so much delusional, like, you don't fight and you don't hit around 6 or 7 goons every day. Can you hit around 2 people? No. Are you able to do that?
No.
That's when we think, when I was in my school days, I always thought of a terrorist attack, and I would always go on killing and shooting the terrorist, and that's itself, it's a form of Delulu. And realizing it all, like, it's like so mastermind.
Yes, Francis, as you said, in literature also we have some delusion factor, in Daffodils written by William Wordsworth, he has thinking about a flower called daffodils and written a poem 2 years after. And in many works in the literature like Alice in Wonderland and etc., we came across the term delusion, but delusion is something a Gen Z term, but we have same feeling in the past years also.
Yes, Joel, like you said, this Delulu has been with us for long years.
Yes.
And I would like to quote another one, because this will this will connect with most of you there. We are approaching the end of the year, and everyone must have thought like, I'm going to gym this year. Jan 1st, I'm going to transform my body.
Gym rats.
Gym rats. That is also a form of Delulu, because if you don't do it, if you don't take the next step, it obviously becomes a Delulu. But it also has a very positive effect.
Yes.
Because last year I was trying to take one of the decisions in my life, I will spend more time for myself rather than on cell phone. So I thought about this, and my dream was to take my screen time below 3 hours, and this was only happening in my Delulu. But during the past few months, I can clearly see that my screen time is less than 3 hours, around 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Yes.
No, that is one thing I'm so proud of, and I don't think anything other would have helped me other than Delulu.
Yeah, Francis, sometimes Delulu helps, but many times Delulu just give a harmful effect for us, because as you said, you have a gym Delulu, a term called gym Delulu. Because you thought about thinking about going to gym, getting abs, doing a workout and being like a movie stars, etc., a six-pack hero or something like that. But you have to work for it, right? No, you have to do physical works, you have to do cardio, you have to do weight gain, etc. Only thinking about that is not, only dreaming or thinking about that will not get you a physique better than anyone. So you have to work for that. So for the Delulu, you have to work, not only dreaming. You have to do some physical works. And speaking of gym Delulu, we also have to speak on the positive effects of Delulu, because Delulu is the only space or only time we have to think of ourselves as a superior beings, because everyone have a trouble, struggles in their life, but where we have to we sometimes we don't have a friend to express our feelings, our sorrows, troubles, etc. But Delulu is the only relaxation or solution for us to get relief from our stress.
Yes, Joel, absolutely you are right. Because Delulu is the only imaginary world where we are the protagonist of our story.
Yeah.
Because everyone thinks that they are the protagonist of the story. You know what a protagonist does in a story? He will become successful. He will be the best in the world.
Yeah.
So when you think of yourself as the protagonist, you will always become the best. You will beat the best, and everyone will want to be like you. That is where you really achieve the positive effects of Delulu.
Yeah.
I also had a positive effect on the Delulu. On a day before exam, we always think of one night we study the whole syllabus and get a pass mark, or someone like a class topper. I every time I trying to study, I had this Delulu in my lifetime. When the next day is a exam, a day before the exam, when we trying to study, every student had this Delulu of being a class topper by studying one night before the exam. But actually it helps, when you have 10 plus units to study, you only finished 2 units, and when you think of a class topper for some times, and when you came back to the real life, it actually helps. It motivates you to study at least the unit you can capable to finish.
Yes, Joel, we will make plans. 10 marks for 20 minutes, and this 10 mark, that 10 mark, and that is a great strategic mind. We cannot make the strategies in real world. When we try to make the strategy, we'll just scroll on Instagram reels and watch TV. But when we think of ourselves, we have this unit and this is important, that is important. Okay, we can do this, and that is where we can produce our utmost best. But that doesn't mean you should not work hard every day. You should also work hard every day, but being in Delulu gives you some kind of a solution that is Delulu is a solution.
Actually, was telling about Delulu, I suddenly strike of a statement like Delulu gives you wings. Sometimes Delulu will give you better ideas, and imagination is the only space branches where you can feel a supreme being, a superhero, or as like that. I think you came to understand.
We are not chained, no regulations, no chains, no cells, and we are the only ones. We are the supreme beings.
Yes.
That supreme being thinking will definitely help us.
Yes.
What you have at last, and you talked about all the positive and negative sides of the Delulu. So so coming to the end of the podcast, what do you think of the Delulu? Is it good or bad for the students or Gen Z kids?
We cannot say it is totally good or totally bad. It is in the hands of the students. Actually, mostly the students are the ones who would gain most, because this is our productive years. When we use Delulu to the best, that is putting the hard work behind the Delulus. Hard work with Delulu will always create it. That magic will only be possible with Delulu, because many people will say hard work, you have to construct your plans, everything like that. How will you construct your plans? Through thinking.
Yes.
The thinking in the imaginary world, that Delulu will always give us the solution and strength to move forward.
Yeah. I totally agree with you, Francis. And you have stated a statement like a Delulu with the hard work will always give you a success. I just that was a very great statement. I think so. And that Delulu is. I think Delulu is something that every poet or writer is want of. Because without delusion or imagination, you cannot write something that comes to our mind. Delusion is very important for a writer to write on something.
Yes, Joel. I think we can come to a conclusion here. So those who are watching this, please use Delulu. Not in that manner. No, like I want a girl, not like that. But use it in a productive manner to create a future for yourself in your dreams and make those dreams possible by your hard work. Please don't only do this and do that. No, just mix these two things and definitely high. No, we assure you, because we have made some small improvements in our life, and we also are going to take this Delulu to the best
Yes, yes,
and to show our best.
yes. At last, we conclude this podcast by saying Delulu is Solulu.
Solulu.
Thank you.
Thank you.